Welcome to the Deep Dive. We cut through the noise to bring you the insights that matter fast. Today, we're diving into a part of the digital world you use almost every day, but you probably don't think about its one surprising economic weight. I'm talking about commenting systems. Just, think for a second. When did you last type a reply?
hmm
Or leave a review? Or share thoughts below a video? You were using one of these systems.
Exactly. And that interaction, which seems so simple, is actually part of a really significant and fast-growing market. Our source for this deep dive today is mainly the Global Commenting Systems Market Outlook 2021-2033 report. It's from Cognitive Market Research. And this report, well, it really pulls back the curtain. It shows the big economic forces behind the places we share our thoughts online, our opinions, even our outrage sometimes.
Right, so our mission today is pretty clear. We're going to break down the key findings from that report. We want to understand what's really driving this market's, frankly, impressive growth, and figure out what it tells us about how digital interaction and online communities are changing. And just to start us off, get this. This global market, the one most of us barely notice, it generated over $76 million back in 2021. And by 2033, it's projected to hit a huge $378 million.
That's almost a five-fold increase. It's quite something.
Okay, let's unpack that. A nearly five-fold increase. For something like online comments, it feels, well, enormous. What's pushing that kind of incredible growth,
Yeah.
especially in a space that's, been around quite a while? It feels so basic, so ubiquitous. But those numbers, they really make you look again.
Yeah, and what's really interesting, according to the report, is that this growth isn't just because more people are online. That's part of it, sure. But it's more about a fundamental shift in how we consume and, importantly, produce digital content. Of course, we're seeing, more online media consumption, digital journalism exploding. That's all happening. But the key thing is that businesses, publishers, tech platforms, they're all increasingly focused on user-generated content, on feedback. It's not just about broadcasting anymore. It's about fostering that two-way street, that engagement.
Ah, so it's a shift from just pushing stuff out to actually having a conversation.
Precisely. Moving from broadcast to interaction. And that's fueling this massive demand. People don't just need commenting systems. They need infrastructure that's seamless, that can scale up, and that's, highly customizable. It's all about building real, engaged communities, turning passive readers into active participants, which in turn drives things like loyalty and makes the content live longer.
That makes perfect sense. It's not just ticking a box comments on. It's about making them work. And those global numbers really drive home just how strong this trend is. If we look at the path forward from 2025 to 2033, the report projects a compound annual growth rate, a CAGR, of 14.2%. I mean, think about that leap. Just over 76 million in 2021, then jumping past 130 million in 2025, all the way to that projected 378 million by 2033. That's serious acceleration. It doesn't seem to be slowing down at all.
Not at all. It's really quite remarkable. And when we look closer at the different regions, we see similar, pretty impressive patterns. These regional pictures really add up to show this global focus on digital interaction. Take North America, for instance. It's been a huge driver of this growth. The report projects its market will almost quintuple between 2021 and 2033, reaching over $121 million. Now, the U.S. is, as you'd expect, leading the way there. It's the biggest chunk. But what's interesting is Canada and Mexico are also showing really consistent, strong double-digit growth. So it's not just one country. It's a broad adoption across the region.
Okay, so strong growth pretty much across the board in North America. What about Europe? If we shift gears, what's the story there? Similar trends.
Europe, very much a similar story. A strong, consistent upward curve. The market there is estimated to more than quadruple by 2033, hitting over $104 million. We're seeing really solid investment in user engagement right across key European countries. The UK and Germany, for example, they're really out front, both projected to see their markets grow like 4 or 5 times their 2021 levels. Huge jumps. But even countries like Russia, France, Italy, they're showing substantial rapid expansion too. It suggests that building these online communities and getting user feedback, it's a priority across very different European digital landscapes. It's definitely not just a Western Europe thing. It's, well, continental.
That's fascinating. So it's widespread. Now, what does this all mean when we look at the Asia-Pacific region? The growth there often seems, particularly significant, kind of a bellwether for global digital trends sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. Asia Pacific, or APAC, definitely stands out. A major, major growth engine here. Its market is forecast to grow by more than 5 times between 2021 and 2033, expected to reach nearly $95 million. And within that huge region, while China is the clear dominant force, its market alone is set to grow to over 33 million, which makes sense given its massive and incredibly active online population. But it's definitely not just China. We see really significant fast growth in places like Japan, India, South Korea too. There's this increasing recognition everywhere of the value of user content for, e-commerce, media, social platforms. The sheer scale and the speed of adoption in APAC, it's really telling. It points to that global shift we were talking about.
Really impressive scale there. Okay, let's turn our focus now to South America. Are we seeing similar dynamics, or is there a different story unfolding in that region?
South America is also showing strong growth. Absolutely. The commenting systems market there, it's projected to nearly quintuple by 2033, reaching over $23 million. Brazil is the region's largest economy, so naturally it leads the way. It drives a big chunk of that growth. But, countries like Argentina, Colombia, Chile, they're also showing very healthy growth rates. So what this suggests is that the focus on digital interaction, on user-generated content, it's really gaining serious traction across the continent. It seems like it's moving past just early adoption into much more widespread integration, part of the core digital strategy now.
Got it. And finally, let's look at the Middle East and Africa. Sometimes grouped together, but like you said, maybe worth looking at separately. What are the trends revealing there?
You're right. It's good to look at them individually. They definitely have distinct digital landscapes. So in the Middle East, the market is projected to grow by over 5 times between 2021 and 2033. That takes it to over $24 million. Saudi Arabia is a major player, definitely. But we're also seeing really impressive growth across the UAE and Turkey as well. This seems driven by, rapidly expanding digital economies and quite young, digitally savvy population. Then, turning to Africa, its market is actually set to grow sixfold, quite a bit faster, relatively speaking, projected to hit over $10 million by 2033. Nigeria really stands out there as a big contributor, along with South Africa, and that's likely driven by, well, increasing internet access and just this burgeoning digital content scene across the continent. So yeah, if we connect all these dots, these regional growths, taken together, they paint a really clear picture. Digital interaction, it isn't just some add-on feature anymore. It's fundamental. It's a core pillar of online strategy. And that's driving serious economic investment everywhere, every corner of the globe.
So, pulling this all together, what does it actually mean for you listening? Maybe you're just curious about the digital economy, or maybe you're looking to use these insights professionally. Well, that means every single time you join an online discussion, or you leave that product review, or interact with comments under an article, you're not just having a casual chat, you're actually participating in this multi-million-dollar global market, one that's expanding incredibly fast. It really profoundly underlines the increasing value that platforms and businesses are placing on your content, on user-generated content. They see it as key for engagement, for community building, and yeah, ultimately for their success. And that means the need for solid, smart infrastructure to support this massive global conversation. Well, it's absolutely crucial. So we've explored how this global commenting systems market is just rocketing from just over 76 million in 2021, aiming for projected 378 million by 2033. And this staggering growth, it's fueled by our constant online media consumption and the vital role user interaction now plays in building these online communities.
Right. And as these digital platforms keep pushing for deeper user engagement, this projected growth, it points towards some interesting developments ahead, which kind of raises an important question, doesn't it? What new challenges or maybe opportunities might pop up when it comes to managing just the sheer volume and, frankly, the diversity of all this user-generated content, especially given the rapid growth we're seeing across all these different regions? Think about things like content moderation at that scale, or the impact AI might have on comment quality, or maybe even new ways to incentivize valuable contributions from users. It's definitely something interesting to think about going forward. Hey everyone, welcome to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're really digging into something you probably interact with all the time, maybe without even thinking much about it.
Online comments.
Exactly, those sections under news, articles, videos, forums, they're just everywhere online.
Absolutely ubiquitous.
And we're going to dive into the surprisingly complex world behind them, the commenting systems market.
Yeah, it's much more than just a text box. It's really a critical engine for digital engagement.
It really shapes how we connect, share, and, actually discuss things online.
Definitely.
So our mission today is to unpack what's really driving this market's growth and also the big hurdles it's facing and maybe some of the clever innovations shaping where it's headed.
Right. We're looking at insights from a pretty detailed report by Cognitive Market Research.
Yeah, exactly. So whether you're, say, building a website, running a platform, maybe developing tech, or honestly, if you're just curious about how these online conversations get built and managed,
Then this should be really interesting for you.
this deep dive is definitely for you. Okay, let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
So to kick things off, why now? What's behind the big growth spurt we're seeing in this market? What are the core drivers?
Well, I think the first major force is just this huge surge in enhanced online engagement tools.
Okay.
As we all spend more time online, publishers and platforms, they're scrambling, really, to foster genuine interaction.
Right, not just passive scrolling.
Exactly. Commenting systems are key there. They create that, that vital two-way street. It lets users respond, debate, and crucially, build actual communities around the content.
So it's about community building.
Yeah, and this active participation, it isn't just about making a page feel like more alive. It fundamentally keeps people engaged longer.
Ah, interesting.
And it deepens their connection to a brand or, an idea.
Yeah.
It's really moving beyond just consuming information
To participating.
to actively
Yeah.
participating in it. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense for building that community feel. But with all that interaction, how did these systems make it, easy for people to actually use them? And maybe even more importantly, how do they build trust?
Ah, good question. That really brings us to the second major driver. Seamless integration with social media and authentication systems.
Okay, like signing in with Google or Facebook.
Precisely. Modern platforms are incredibly smart about this. They
Mhm.
let you sign in using credentials you already have, Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever.
Which is convenient.
It is convenient, but it's more than that. It leverages trust networks that already exist.
Yeah.
And technically, they're often using things like OAuth protocols.
Right?
So you get secure access without actually sharing your password with the commenting system itself.
Got it.
And this integration, it's frankly indispensable for the moderation tools to work well.
How so?
Well, it helps verify user identity,
Uh?
builds a stronger defense against spam, fake interactions, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It just helps build that essential layer of trust, especially for sites really driven by their community.
You mentioned curbing spam and fake stuff, and that kind of leads us to let's say, the messier side of online talk.
The darker side.
Yeah, because with more engagement, you also get more, bad actors, right? So how do platforms handle that sheer volume? That's where moderation becomes so critical.
Exactly. That's the third big driver, this intense demand for content moderation and regulatory compliance.
Right.
We are definitely living in an era where digital toxicity and misinformation are rising concerns.
For sure.
Publishers just can't afford completely unregulated discussion spaces anymore. It's bad for the community, and it's, frankly, a legal risk for them, too.
Okay.
So commenting systems that come loaded with things like AI moderation, good profanity filters, and importantly, GDPR-aligned logging.
You mean how they handle user data?
Exactly. How user data is securely stored and managed to meet privacy rules. Those features aren't just nice-to-haves anymore.
They're essential.
They're absolute must-haves for safeguarding the community and the host's legal position in this, pretty complex digital landscape.
Okay, so those drivers paint a picture of, impressive growth and some really necessary evolution. But the online world, it's messy.
It certainly is.
As engagement explodes, so do the very real challenges that can, undermine trust and the quality of discussion. What are those main roadblocks these systems are still grappling with?
Yeah, you're right. It's definitely not all smooth sailing. The first big restraint is, I'd say, the risk of toxic or low-quality user contributions.
Trolls and bots.
We've all seen it, right? The comment section just spirals out of control because of trolls or bots or spammers.
Yeah.
These bad actors can very quickly derail any meaningful discussion.
Yeah.
They alienate the genuine readers, and they can seriously damage a brand's image.
And that must be tougher for smaller sites.
Oh, absolutely. It's particularly tough for smaller publishers or, independent creators who often just can't afford dedicated 247 moderation teams.
Right. And beyond the sort of bad actors, how are just changing user habits impacting this? It feels like the way we share thoughts online is constantly shifting.
That is a huge challenge. The declining use of website-based comments.
Meaning people comment elsewhere.
Exactly. Many users today, they just prefer to share their thoughts directly on the big social platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, wherever.
Hmm.
And this isn't just a small preference shift. It really highlights a kind of profound decentralization of online conversations.
Augmented.
Very fragmented, yeah. Spread across different platforms. It pushes publishers to really rethink their whole engagement strategy, their presence across the web.
Okay.
And this shift means less direct engagement happening right there on the original content site, which, can make those integrated commenting systems seem maybe less valuable in our very mobile-first, socially connected world.
That makes sense. Okay, but for the creators themselves, the people running the sites, what are the practical pain points, the headaches involved in actually getting these sophisticated systems up and running?
Oh, yeah, that's where installation and integration complexity definitely comes in as well, a significant
It's
concern.
not just plug and play.
Not always, no. Plugging a really robust commenting engine into an existing CMS like WordPress or whatever they're using.
Right.
Handling all the different ways users might log in, the authentication protocols, and then making sure it lines up perfectly with the moderation tools you want to use.
Mm-hmm.
It can frankly be a real technical headache.
I can imagine.
Yeah, imagine trying to sync up different user databases or ensure seamless single sign-on across different parts of your site or other platforms. It's especially tough for small teams or independent creators who might not have dedicated tech resources.
Okay, so given these pretty significant challenges, toxicity, changing habits, technical hurdles, how is the market fighting back? What are the key innovations, the trends shaping the future to sort of overcome these roadblocks?
Yeah, innovation is definitely pushing through, and it's actually pretty exciting to watch.
Yeah.
Leading the charge, I'd say, is AI-driven moderation and sentiment analysis.
AI, okay. How does that work?
Well, machine learning tools are getting incredibly sophisticated now. They can automatically filter abusive comments much more effectively.
Uh-huh.
They can detect harmful language using natural language processing techniques. And they can even do things like highlight potentially constructive feedback amidst all the noise.
Wow, so it's not just filtering bad stuff, but finding good stuff too.
Exactly. And this isn't just about, reducing the manual workload for moderators, though that's huge. It's about fundamentally trying to reshape the online dialogue itself.
Oh, so.
By enabling civil discussion at a scale that was previously, pretty much unimaginable. It could effectively help turn these vast, sometimes chaotic comment sections into more structured, constructive communities.
That really does sound like a game changer for digital citizenship.
It has that potential, yes.
That sounds incredibly powerful for safety and quality. But what about the comments themselves? Are they evolving? Becoming more, I don't know, visual or interactive?
Oh, absolutely. We're definitely seeing a clear rise of threaded and media-rich commenting formats.
Like replies to replies.
Yeah, think about how social platforms work, right? Nested replies, so you can follow a conversation thread. Emoji reactions. User mentions, using the @ symbol. GIFs, even embedded videos are now becoming pretty commonplace within comment sections on many platforms.
So making it more like social media, but on the site itself.
Precisely. These features are specifically designed to mimic that kind of social platform interactivity. It makes the comment sections feel much more vibrant, more expressive, and honestly, just more fun.
Right.
And that rich interactivity, that's really key for building a strong community feel and keeping users engaged right there on your site,
Yeah.
rather than them bouncing off to Twitter to talk about it.
And with all this tech and feature innovation, are we seeing new business models pop up beyond just the sort of traditional free-for-all comment section?
Yes, very much so. There's definitely an emerging trend of hybrid engagement strategies.
Hybrid, what does that mean?
It means commenting access might be gated through subscriptions or verified accounts.
Paywalls for comments or member-only sections.
Sort of, yeah. Publishers are using these models for a few reasons. One, to reduce toxicity. The idea being that people who pay or verify are less likely to be trolls.
Makes sense.
Two, to reward genuine, valuable participation. And three, potentially even to generate revenue through membership-based communities.
Interesting.
Yeah, and if you connect that to the bigger picture, it shows how commenting is maybe moving beyond just being this wide-open discussion forum
To something more curated.
to becoming potentially a premium curated experience, something that can actually be a valuable asset for publishers in its own right.
So who are the companies actually, driving this transformation? Who are the key players building these systems and pushing these trends in the commenting market?
Well, the market has quite a diverse mix of platforms,
Mhm.
as you'd expect, each with slightly different features, maybe different user experiences.
Right.
Some of the really notable names that often come up include Discos, they're
Right.
widely known, huge reach, have monetization features. Intense debate is another popular one, especially for WordPress users. And you've got Commento, which really positions itself as privacy first, ad-free.
Okay. Any others?
Yeah, beyond those, there are players like Thrive Comments, Viafora, Graph Comment, Mute, Civil Comments, Hyper Comments, JLEX Comment, and Match Chat. Quite a list.
Wow, yeah.
And these companies, they're really focusing on a whole range of solutions, everything from like modular integrations that plug easily into different websites
Mhm.
to really advanced AI moderation tools we talked about. We're also seeing them expand geographically and even develop sort of vertical specific
Like
solutions.
for specific industries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like tailored systems for education or media companies or e-commerce sites. It just shows how specialized this market can get.
This has been, wow, a really illuminating exploration into this commenting systems market.
It's deeper than it looks on the surface.
It really is. We've seen how it sits at this crucial intersection of, online discourse, cutting edge tech, tricky moderation challenges, and just overall user engagement strategy.
It's kind of a foundational piece of the internet we often just take for granted.
Totally overlooked sometimes.
And it really highlights that understanding this constant evolution, it's key for anyone involved in digital content, whether you're creating it or managing it.
Right.
It's about adapting to how users behave, but also trying to build more responsible digital spaces,
Hmm.
which I guess raises an important question.
Yeah, exactly. So, wrapping up, what does all this mean for you listening right now as a digital citizen or maybe a content creator? How will this ongoing push for, richer engagement and increased safety actually shape the very fabric of our online conversations going forward?
And what new innovations might surprise us next in this, well, clearly ever-evolving space?
Something to think about. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive.
My pleasure.